So I just wanted to go over some of the examples for finding volume with you and show you my method of doing it, even though you saw the Khan Academy way. And remember that you do also have the formula sheet on the Google document, which will help you as well. But I always like to think of volume in terms of volume is always, well, not always, but I'll tell you in a second. So volume, usually you can use this rule that it's going to be the area of the base or the bottom, if it's standing flat, times the height of the figure for most figures. But there's some figures that volume will be 1/3 of this area of the base times the height. And I'll tell you in just a second how you can tell if it's 1/3. So I have 4 figures here. I have the rectangular prism, this pyramid type thing, a cylinder, and a cone. So basically, you're always using this formula, area of the base times the height. But if you can move your picture around some way that it looks like kind of an ice cream cone or like a popcorn cone or something, like something where it has a tip at the end and an opening at the top, for example, then you use the 1/3 formula. So looking at these, this does not even look like it could be an ice cream cone. There's no like one pointy tip where you would hold the bottom. So this one, you're going to use this formula, the regular area of the base times the height. This one here, see how if I were to flip my page upside down, kind of looks like I could hold this and put some popcorn in it or ice cream or cotton candy, and there's like a tip at the bottom. So that's your indication that this one is the formula with 1/3. So this one we're using the 1/3. And I'm just going to say, instead of writing area of base a million times, we'll just say capital B. That means area of base times the height. The cylinder, this doesn't look like an ice cream cone, so this one will be your regular area of the base, capital B, times the height. So let's just put a note here, area of the base. We're using capital B for this. And the last one, if you were to turn this upside down, definitely looks just like an ice cream cone. It has a pointy tip at the bottom and a wider opening at the top, kind of like this one, right? Pointy tip at the bottom, wide opening at the top. That's how you know that you're using the 1/3 formula. So 1/3 area of the base times the height. So now we can go do these problems now that we set up our information. All right, so first one, let's see the area of the base. Base is the bottom, right? So your area of the base would be a rectangle, 3 times 10. So area of the base is 30, 3 times 10, times the height of the figure is 4. 30 times 4 gives you 120. And when we're doing volume, we measure it in cubic inches because volume is 3-dimensional, not 2-dimensional. Surface area was 2-dimensional, square inches. Volume is cubic, 3-dimensional, cubic inches. All right, again, we have a rectangle at the base. So area of the base would be 20 times 3, which is 60. So here we have 1/3. Area of the base is 60, and then the height of the figure is 12. So you can multiply this any way you want. I'm just going to take 1/3 of 60. I know that's 20. And then 20 times 12 would be, do 2 times 12, it's 24. Put a 0 at the end. So it would be 240 cubic meters. Okay, again, cylinder, cylinder, we just need area of the base times the height because there's no pointy tip and wide opening. It's like the same at the top and the bottom. So you do have to remember to write the radius here because you don't need the diameter. You only need the diameter when you're doing the circumference of the circle. So if the diameter is 16, we know the radius is 8. So area of the base is pi r squared for a circle. So it's going to be pi times 8 squared is 64. And then we're multiplying that by the height, which is 21. So you could use your calculator for this. Just multiply them all together. Doing it on the side, 3.14 times 64 times 21 should give you 4,220.16 cubic inches. Now, if you use the actual pi key on your calculator compared to 3.14, sometimes your rounding might be slightly off than my answer key, which is totally fine. I would accept it. Okay, and then our last one, we have our pointy tip and wide opening. So we're using 1/3 area of the base times the height. So we can set it up. 1/3. Area of the base, again, is a circle, so it's pi r squared. So it's going to be pi times 4 squared. 4 times 4 is 16, so 16 pi for our area of the base. And then the height is 10. So here you're going to have 1/3 of basically 160 pi, which you could put this in your calculator by doing like parenthesis 1 divided by 3, parenthesis 160 times 3.14. I'm just showing you different ways you could put it in the calculator. You could also put this in your calculator by doing 160 times 3.14, hit enter, and then divide that number by 3. That's the way I'm going to go about it, but it doesn't matter, whatever you choose, as long as you're using the correct order of operations. And this one, the final answer, you would have to round. You can go to the nearest tenth or 100, it's fine. So let's say 167.4, it's like 6 repeating, so I'm just going to say 7, and this one would be cubic centimeters. So as always, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out through email or remind or whatever way you wish. Thanks for watching and have a great week.